Shalom. Before I begin this video, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that continue to rule very well to this very day. That's continually feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. And also shalom to the hopeful elect that is laboring this work, that's giving you due diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, in truth and sincerity, and in all charity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled Esau's History, Not Ours. All right. And this is pertaining to the article which I ran into here just a few moments ago concerning, the topic that they push in the schools today, or in the school system, in which we like to call fool system, because the history that they tell you about the cavemen or the Neanderthal man, as they call it, really they link that to everybody on the planet Earth, saying that that's everybody's history, and that's where they go back to. But the thing is that they deceive the people into thinking that that's everybody's history, in which really is Edom's history. If you read about Edom or Esau in the scriptures, they have an origin that they go back to. All right. And the origins go back to Isaac and Rebekah. All right. That's where their lineage comes from. It comes from their forefather Esau, which is the twin brother of Jacob. Okay. And really the word Esau, and there's a reason why Esau was given that name, is because if you go into the Hebrew name for Esau, which is Ishash, which means wasted away is he. All right. And again, there's a reason why he was given that name, wasted away is he, is because he has no he had no pigmentation, and he was given that name because he had no pigmentation in his skin. This is the reason why he's called why he called himself white, or which we like to call him the so-called white man, because everybody in that time had pigmentation. All right. Everybody in that time were they had brown complexion to a very, very dark brown to a lighter shade of brown, because we all came from Adam. All right. I'm talking about us, the chosen line. We all came from Adam, and we all had pigmentation during that time. All right. In which Adam, the name Adam itself means Adama, which means from the ground. Okay. Because the ground, as you dig into the ground, is a deep, dark brown color. All right. But going into the topic at hand, as far as the history of the original cavemen, like I said before, that's not everyone's history. All right. That's Esau's history, because it was a time to where they were driven from among the modern, or should I say, the civilization that was there during that time. And they were driven from all men. All right. They were driven away, and they were driven into the caves. That's why if you walk by a so-called white man today and call him a Caucasian, they find offense to that. The reason why they find offense to that is because the word Caucasian really means cave dweller. All right. And they know this, man. They know the history. That's why they get offended when you call them Caucasian, because you're really calling them a cave dweller, in which that's their habitation. All right. And as you read in this article, right, it says, how did the last Neanderthal live? In which if you go further down, I'm not going to read all of it, but if you want to look at it, that's the title of the article, and it's on BBC, right? BBC News, which is 2 days ago. It says, actually, I'm going to go a little bit further down. they'll tell you that they existed, right, 200,000 years ago, 28,000 years ago, in which really, if you go into the time frame of the scriptures and the history on all the kingdoms, really, the earth is not even that old. It's not 200,000 years, 300,000 years old. All right, which I can't do quick math at the moment, to tell you how old the earth is, but really it's not that old, man. All right. Going into actually, I'm gonna read from a little bit from this image here. It says a reproduction of a Neanderthal family on display at Field Museum of Natural History at Chicago, Illinois. All right. Now it says, in recognition of this, it says, I think it's pronounced Gibraltar, received UNESCO World Heritage status in 2016. Of particular interest are 4 large caves. 3 of these caves have barely been explored, but one of them, Gorham's Cave, is the site of yearly excavations. It says they were just surviving. All right. Now, let's see. It says, so it has here in bold that Neanderthals lived in many small subpopulations. Now, if you go further down, right, let's see. It's a small portion here that I want to grab. All right, so it says there is even evidence they caught birds of prey. And this little second paragraph says that there is even evidence they caught birds of prey, including golden eagles and vultures. All right, let you know that they were far from following the laws. It says we don't know if they laid out meat and then waited for the right opportunity to go in for the kill, or whether they actively hunted birds, a much more difficult task. What we do know is that they didn't necessarily eat all the birds they were hunting, especially not the birds of prey like vultures, which are full of acid. All right, in which, really, if you go into the history of their history when they were driven to the caves, really, man, they're really eating anything under the sun. All right, that's why they had their diets were messed up, man. If you go into the full history of how they lived, how they ate, because this is just an article, all right? But if you really do some deep diving into their history, they really, their diet was messed up, man. It's all messed up. They were eating anything. They were eating out of their grandmother's skull, all right? And, portions like that, segments of history like that is, they don't tell you about it in the history, in history classes today. All right, they leave out every other thing and just tell you that they existed, they lived a certain way, and that's that. But they don't want to go into deep detail on how they really live. All right, and like I mentioned before, man, the only history they'll really trace back to is Esau's history when they teach you this in school. All right, because they won't tell you about the very beginning. The beginnings of the beginnings, when the Most High, along with Yahweh Shai, or should I say Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son, they're the ones that created the planet Earth in the beginning, in the very beginning. All right, it didn't start out with a caveman and not knowing, English or any other sort of language, with clubs and loincloths. No, man. There was an actual civilization and society that was there during the time of the beginning, man, when you had Adam. All right. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and move on from there. Like I mentioned before, this article, if you want to read into it, you can go ahead. But you have to pick and choose what you get out of this article, because it comes from what they so-called discovered, but we already know in history how they really lived. All right, and actually there's a record of it in the book of Job, the 30th chapter, and I'm gonna start at the first verse. It says, now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained, have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereunto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. All right. Now, the ones that are younger, right, which Job is speaking about, he's talking about Esau, all right? Because it doesn't mean somebody that's younger in age, but it's talking about somebody that's below you, all right? Somebody that's under you, okay? That's what it means to be younger, okay? Verse 3, it says, for one in famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste. All right, and solitary means to be alone, all right, to be by yourself. So for one in famine they were alone, they were by themselves, man, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste. Again, Esau, which the name Esau is Ashash, which means wasted away is he. Verse 4, it says, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, right? So nobody, the nations, all the nations that's on the planet Earth did not want these Edomites around them because they were vile, man. Okay, and it's going to tell you. It says, for verse 6, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. See, and there's a reason why they cut up bushes and juniper roots for that meat, and they on the bushes they brayed because their diets were messed up. So the Most High had to make it to where their diets consisted of these things, all right, or they ate certain of these things because the Lord wanted to preserve them alive for this time now. All right, that's the reason why they cut up mallows and juniper roots for their meat. All right. It says, let's see here. Starting out from verse 6, it says to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, and the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. See? So it says here that they were children of fools and children of base men, man. Now, when you deal with something that's base, right? And we went into it before. When you deal with something that's base, you're dealing with something that's at the very bottom. Okay? It says they were viler than the earth, man. So these are some vile people, man. Even to this very day, there's some vile people. All right, you're not going to see it in the limelight or in the spotlight, but here it is. You got the prophets of the Lord that's spotlighting it right now, showing you how vile these people are, man. All right, when you go into their history of what they've done, and even going to the time of when they went into rulership during the Greeks and the Romans, and even to the time right now, man, that what they've done, the things that they have performed, is being exposed, okay, by the men of the Lord. It says, and now I am their song, yea, I am their byword. See, because now we're being made a byword by the ones that are base. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab this last precept here that I got. Like I said, I didn't want to make it too long. Daniel, the 4th chapter, is at the 17th verse. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, right? And this is how we know that the Most High rule in the kingdom of men. And this is what he did. He gave the kingdom over, right, to the basis of men, right? It says, and he given it to whomsoever he will. Read on. It says, and set up over it the basis of men, right? So the Lord set up over this rulership the basis of men, all right? Because this man is based, okay? This is why he's being exposed, man. This is why when we speak about the history of these Edomites, right, which again is the biblical nationality of the so-called white man, we let you know that he's a base man and he's vile. All right. And this is the history that they refuse to accept. But it is what it is, man. When you push history like this out, basically you're putting yourself out there, man. It's gonna come a point in time when somebody's gonna put 2 and 2 together, and now you're seeing it, and they hate it. All right. But that's all I want to bring out in this video, in this lesson. Lord's will. This was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Till next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well to this very day. Also, Shalom Peace of safety and salutations to the hopeful elect that is also applying in his work. Giving your diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, in truth, and sincerity, and all charity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.